quite a flutter in the alliance. First, over the weekend, Sharad Pawar held a secret meeting with his nephew and now BJP ally Ajit Pawar. Second, you had the Congress, in fact, also raising questions about what Sharad Pawar's real motives are. The Trinamool Congress, on its part, decided to have an event where they splashed posters declaring that Mamata Banerjee is going to be the next Prime Minister. And for good measure, a JDU MLA also pushed the envelope for the name of Nitish Kumar. Predictably, the BJP is now gleefully bringing out the popcorn.
माननीय आदरणीय शरद पवार जी और अजीत पवार जी के मीटिंग के बाद वो जो एक भ्रम पैदा हुआ है, लोगों में बहुत सी शंका कुशंकाएं हैं, वो हमें चिंतित करती है। इस बारे में हमारी चर्चा हुई और ये जल्दी से जल्दी उस बारे में ये भ्रम जो है ये ख़त्म होना चाहिए। इस पर हम सबका एकमत हुआ है। जल्दी ही हम इस बारे में श्री शरद पवार जी से बात करेंगे।
काही नाही, महाविकास आघाडीमध्ये विचाराने जे एकत्र आलेत आणि ज्यांची भूमिका की आज देश पातळीवर आणि राज्यामध्ये भारतीय जनता पार्टीशी संबंधित जे आहेत त्या घटकांच्याशी आमचा कुठल्याही प्रकारचा सहभाग असण्याचं कारण नाही आणि ही भूमिका स्वच्छ झाल्याच्यानंतर संभ्रम राहिलेला नाही। काल मी सोलापूरला होतो आणि त्याही ठिकाणी आजच्या वर्तमानपत्रात सुद्धा त्या बातम्यात त्यामुळे एकदा ही गोष्ट स्पष्ट केल्याच्या नंतर पुन्हा पुन्हा तो प्रश्न विचारून तुम्ही संभ्रम निर्माण करू नका।
26 दल है, 26 नेता, 26 पीएम, एक महीना भी नहीं मिलेगा को साल में, तो ये हालत है हमारे विरोधियों को।
मेन टारगेट इज to defeat the BJP in the upcoming 2024 elections. Mamata Banerjee herself has said that she is not bothered about the chair. We are not bothered about the chair. We collectively, India Alliance, want to defeat BJP. India जीतेगा भारत।
बीजेपी मुक्त भारत होगी और इंडिया का पदार्पण होगा और सत्ता हस्तांतरित होगा। निश्चित हम तो चाहते हैं कि बिहार का लोग मुख्यमंत्री बने। हमारी व्यक्तिगत राहत है कि नीतीश कुमार जी प्रधानमंत्री बने।
Now, even as the Congress was battling the demons within its alliance, it seemed to have turned its anger on quite an unexpected target, the voters. In a speech in Haryana, Randeep Singh Surjewala, Member of Parliament and one of the key members of Team Rahul in the Congress, said that not only are people within the BJP like demons, but even those who vote for the BJP have a Rakshasi Pravriti, the nature of demons. It's quite eerie that the statement comes at this time because just during the parliament session that has gone by, the Prime Minister, when he was replying to the no trust motion against him, had said that frustrated with the repeated rejection of a product that they are trying to relaunch again and again, the grand old party is turning its anger, is turning its frustration onto the very voters of the country.
राक्षस हो तुम लोग। भारतीय जनता पार्टी को जो वोट देता है और भारतीय जनता पार्टी का जो समर्थक है वो राक्षस प्रवृत्ति का व्यक्ति है। मैं आज महाभारत की इस धरती से श्राप देता हूं उनको। राक्षस हो तुम लोग। भारतीय जनता पार्टी को जो वोट देता है और भारतीय जनता पार्टी का जो समर्थक है वो राक्षस प्रवृत्ति का व्यक्ति है। मैं आज महाभारत की इस धरती से श्राप देता हूं उनको।
मैं कांग्रेस की मुसीबत समझता हूं। बरसों से एक ही फेल्ड प्रोडक्ट उसको बार बार लॉन्च करते हैं, हर बार लॉन्चिंग फेल हो जाती है और अब उसका नतीजा ये हुआ है मतदाताओं के प्रति उनकी नफरत भी सातवें आसमान पर पहुंच गई है। उनका लॉन्चिंग फेल होता है, नफरत जनता पे करते हैं।
And that brings us to the main questions of the day. Is this really frustration at an aborted relaunch that is telling? Is the frustration of trying to pull together an alliance of contradictions together that is telling? And are there rumblings beneath the surface that could soon turn into a wide chasm? Joining us on the debate, we have Shehzad Poonawalla, national spokesperson of the BJP. We also have with us Avnijesh Avasthi, political analyst, Kamar Zaman Chaudhary, leader of the Congress, Kishore Tiwari, spokesperson of the Shiv Sena, and Anirban Banerjee, political analyst. But Mr. Chaudhary, I have to ask you this. Why blame the poor voter? He or she is only doing what he or she thinks is the best for him. Usko श्राप देने की क्या जरूरत है?
नहीं, Padmaja, already we have got issued clarification from our President Kharge ji regarding this entire episode of Surjewala ji, and I believe it is a crystal clear what he meant to say out here. Surjewala ji did not mean out of context also in the second point. What's happening out there is, who is Bittu Bajrangi, who is Manu Manesar, who are all those people who are spewing venom across the street?
Wait a second. What is no, before you get into a circle of what about, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let's make one thing very clear. Nothing has been taken out of context here. Let's play out what Mr. Surjewala said. Let's play out. No. This is very clear. You want to call people in the BJP demons? By all means, do it. They are your political adversaries. What right do you have to tell a voter in the country that you are of a demonic nature because you have chosen to vote for the BJP? So when they vote for the Congress, they are angelic. When they vote for the BJP, then they are demons. Why? Let's listen in again to Mr. Surjewala just to make the context clear. I don't understand what is the difference in context that you and I have. Any English-speaking person will pretty much come to the same context. Let's listen in again.
राक्षस हो तुम लोग। भारतीय जनता पार्टी को जो वोट देता है और भारतीय जनता पार्टी का जो समर्थक है वो राक्षस प्रवृत्ति का व्यक्ति है। मैं आज महाभारत की इस धरती से श्राप देता हूं।
राक्षस हो तुम लोग, भारतीय जनता पार्टी को जो वोट देता है और जो उनको समर्थन देता है, मैं तुम्हें श्राप देता हूं। यू आर डीमंस, पीपल हु वोट एंड सपोर्ट द बीजेपी। आई कर्स यू फ्रॉम दिस होली लैंड। What is the difference in context, Mr. Chaudhary?
The basic point that Padmaja, that Surjewala ji wanted to bring out was that simple. It's very simple. People like Bittu Bajrangi, Monu Manesar or Himanta Biswa Sharma who spew venom against a particular community, they in fact are a part of an echo chamber, and a cult has been created in Indian voting system.
He's talking about the voters.
A cult. These people.
Now, Bittu Bajrangi may or may not vote for the BJP,
yeah, Bittu
but
Bajrangi
he is talking about the Ram Shyam Ghanshyam of the street, who is voting for the BJP. Maybe, I don't know about that. But he's not the person Mr. Surjewala was talking about. He was talking about the man on the street. जो लोग बीजेपी को समर्थन करते हैं, जो लोग बीजेपी को वोट देते हैं।
Yeah, that is obvious. That's what I am trying to project out here. The people who are supporting the Bharatiya Janata Party right now, a demonic government, I can say, a majoritarian government who does not care two woods about the constitution. Those people who are supporting the Bharatiya Janata Party are doing a disservice to the Indian nation as a whole. And they cannot be more than a rakshak. That's what he meant. Whether you get support from people like Mahatma Gandhi, and again you get support from people like Nathuram Godse. You say that Nathuram Godse believes in an ideology which we support. तो आपको क्या कहेंगे? We'll call you a rakshak only. So that's what the basic context of the entire debate is.
In 2023, Nathuram Godse is no longer alive, so I don't really think he votes or supports the BJP right now. If you're talking about the voter of 2023, please don't drag in Nathuram Godse. He's neither alive nor voting. But it was a more esoteric point being made, Shehzad Poonawalla, about the nature of people. The Monu Manesars and Bittu Bajrangis of the world who support a majoritarian philosophy.
I hope Padmaja Kamruzaman Chaudhary won't interrupt, and especially because you're outside the studio, so it will be difficult even for you. So I hope you will be patient and let me speak. First of all, Padmaja, are you even surprised? पहले भारत माता की हत्या, भारत की सेना को गाली, भारत के लोकतंत्र को गाली, भारत के लोकतांत्रिक संस्थाओं पर सवाल, और बेचारी ईवीएम अभी कुछ महीने पहले बच गई थी, तो ईवीएम के बदले अब जनता को गाली. So there's nothing surprising. But my only point is that you anyways abuse Prime Minister. मोदी की कब्र खुदेगी, मोदी तू कुत्ते की मौत मरेगा, dash 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 dash. All these things are said by Congress party. Why abuse the voter? We consider voters Janta Janardhan. We consider him as Bhagwan. We consider her as Bhagwan. But they consider Afzal Guru Ji. The same Surjewala is at Afzal Guru Ji. Hafiz Saeed Sahab. But Janta is demon. So this shows the mindset, arrogance and elitism of Congress. And Padmaja, because you are a very keen observer of what happens in this country, you know, this is the kind of dog whistling. You remember Hillary Clinton once said, basket of deplorables. You delegitimize, dehumanize a section of people, 23 crore people, many crores of people who support Indian nationals. You delegitimize them, you dehumanize them, and you dog whistle that now violence is okay against them, and therefore the violence you see in the post-poll violence in Bengal. So this is the process of delegitimization. And last point, Padmaja, look at the irony. ये नो कॉन्फिडेंस मोशन लेकर चले थे सरकार के खिलाफ, पर इनके भीतर कितना नो कॉन्फिडेंस है. शरद पवार का एग्जाम्पल ले लो, आम आदमी पार्टी वर्सेस कांग्रेस ले लो, या जनता के प्रति भी अविश्वास कितना है, ये भी दिखाई देता है. यू नो whom they have called demon today? They have called Ram Dulari. Ram Dulari got a toilet from Modi ji. She voted for BJP. राम दुलारी जी, इन्होंने आपको राक्षस कहा है. शबनम आपा, आपको हमारी तरफ से गैस सिलेंडर मिला, मोदी जी ने गैस सिलेंडर दिया. शबनम आपा, रणदीप सुरजेवाला और राहुल गांधी ने आपको राक्षस कहा है. मोहित चाचा, आपको देखे राहुल गांधी राक्षस कहते हैं. क्यों? क्योंकि उन्होंने, मोदी जी ने आपको जिस प्रकार से सशक्त किया है, स्टार्टअप खोल दिए, तो मोहित, शबनम और राम दुलारी को राहुल नवाबजादे कैसे उनको गालियां बकते हैं, यह अहंकारी परिवारवाद का एक लक्षण है.
Respond to that, Kamar Zaman Chaudhary, the basket of deplorables that Hillary Clinton referred to Trump voters. Let's look closer home. You know what happened during the Karnataka election? I will not name the person, but it was actually a journalist who, when he was commenting about supporters of the BJP who were lined up to watch the Prime Minister's roadshow in Bengaluru, said the following, and I quote, he said that one day we will have to forgive half our population, just like Rwanda and Germany did, and start a re-education program for people who we know do not belong to civilized society. This is not just about ha-ha, he-he. This is actually far more serious, where you take a bunch of people, you say, you are the scum of society simply because you are voting for X person. You do not deserve to be in civilized society. Who the hell are these people who get to decide who is in civilized society and who is a Rakshas? Who gets to decide? So you vote for X, you are an amazing person, you are an intellectual. You vote for Y, you don't belong in civilized society. You are Rakshas. And it happens at various levels. Political leaders say it's picked up by another bunch of intellectuals, and then a whole group of voters are made to feel, what a scum of society you are. You don't deserve to live in this country. Scum, filth.
Padmaja, who deserves to live in this country cannot be decided by one Surjewala, neither can be decided by Narendra Modi or the RSS. If people in Manipur are divided it because of the incompetence of the BJP government, accept it. A ruling chief minister of the country says that we did not need the votes of a particular community.
Why are you trying to go off on a tangent, Mr. Chaudhary? So answer the question. The thing is, it feels very uncomfortably like dil ki baat zuban pe aa gayi. What you actually think of people who don't vote for you is that you are a pile of garbage. But somebody has just said it for a change. You are essentially saying, you vote for us, you're good people, you don't vote for us, you're garbage.
Padmaja, did we have a debate on Hemanta Biswa Sharma when he said that we did not need the votes of the Mia population? We did not have. So all these echo chamber people of the Bharatiya Janata Parties are very lightly called as Rakshas by Surjewala. I will call them as zombies who have been brainwashed, who have been a large captive audience of these people with impressionable minds, have been captivated to become zombies. Who will say that 500 रुपया का तेल हो जाए फिर भी वापस आएंगे मोदी जी? This is the situation of our democratic country where questioning and reason, logic and dissent does not have any place in the country. You speak against the government, you become an anti-national. You do not sing the Jana Mana Gana in the cinema hall, you are an anti-national. You do not change your DP, you become an anti-national. This is the country that we have been reduced to. Let the zombies
Your people are getting cursed simply because they support a party. Okay, Abnijesh Awasthi, if you vote for the Congress, आप बहुत प्रबुद्ध व्यक्ति हैं. If you vote for the BJP, you are brainwashed and you are zombies apparently.
पद्मजा, this is not the first time. आपको मालूम है जब राहुल गांधी अमेठी से हारे और केरल की वायनाड से जीते तो उन्होंने कहा कि दक्षिण के लोग जो हैं, दक्षिण भारत के लोग तो पढ़े लिखे होते हैं, सोच समझ के वोट देते हैं. उत्तर भारत के लोगों में ये समझ नहीं है राजनीति की. जहां भी ये हारते वहां के वोटर्स को इसी तरीके से गलियाना, उनके लिए आप शब्दों का प्रयोग करना. आज मैं डिफरेंट चैनल्स पे देख रहा था, लोग कहते कि वो भी तो गाली देते हैं. अरे पार्टी टू पार्टी गाली नहीं है ये भारत के भारत माता के उन सपूतों पर गाली है जिन्होंने इस लोकतंत्र को जीवित रखा है. अब तक ईवीएम को गाली देते थे, अब ईवीएम से भारत की जनता. शहजाद ने सही कहा कि अब ईवीएम से, क्योंकि अब ये मान गए कि बार बार ये खुद ही कहते हैं कि भारत की जनता ने आपको जिताया, कांग्रेस ने गलती की थी इसलिए आपको जिता दिया, अब आप हैं. तो अब ये मान गया कि भारत की जनता ने जिताया, तो अब गाली जो है भारत की जनता को देना शुरू कर दिया. मुझे हैरत हो रही है पद्मजा कि इसके बावजूद इस स्टेटमेंट को डिफेंड किया जा रहा है. मुझे लगता है कि बड़ी साफ सी बात थी कि रणदीप सुरजेवाला ने जो कहा उस पर सीधे सीधे आकर ये कहना चाहिए था कि इसके लिए मैं क्षमा याचना करता हूं, अपने शब्द वापस लेता हूं. लेकिन सामने बैठे लोगों को तुम लोग राक्षस हो, जनता को, वो लोग जो भारतीय जनता पार्टी को वोट देते हैं, जो समर्थन करते हैं, वो राक्षसी प्रवृत्ति के हैं. और ये हताशा इस हद तक पहुंच गई कि मैं श्राप देता हूं. नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने, प्राइम मिनिस्टर ने इसीलिए घमंडिया थोड़ा कहा था. ये घमंड की पराकाष्ठा है, लिमिट, हाइट ऑफ द सेइंग, हताशा की, कि जब व्यक्ति जीत ना पाए, जनता का विश्वास जीत ना पाए, तो जनता को गाली देना शुरू कर दो. ये उसकी पराकाष्ठा है पद्मजा, आज का स्टेटमेंट.
Respond. Mr. Kishore Tiwari, I want to just quote you, since I quoted the earlier example of Karnataka. Do you know that when the BJP lost the Karnataka election, the Prime Minister tweeted saying, I congratulate the Congress party for their mandate.
डिबेट के मेन सब्जेक्ट था कि कहीं इंडिया डिवाइडेड हो गया, इंडिया अलायंस की यूनिटी नहीं है. हर पक्ष अपने नेता को प्राइम मिनिस्टर देखना चाहता है. तो मैं कहता हूं इसमें कुछ भी गलत नहीं. और आज तो शरद पवार जी ने पूरा क्लियर कर दिया है कि मैं इंडिया अलायंस के साथ रहूंगा और ये बात बार बार पूछनी नहीं चाहिए. और हम कहते हैं कि राहुल गांधी जी ने भी कहा कि मुझे प्राइम मिनिस्टर बनना नहीं है. टीएमसी के नेता ममता दीदी ने कह दिया है, नीतीश जी ने कह दिया है, उद्धव जी ने कह दिया है, शरद पवार जी ने कह दिया. हमारे कार्यकर्ता, महाराष्ट्र की जनता कहती है कि उद्धव जी प्राइम मिनिस्टर बनो, और बिहार की कहती है नीतीश जी बनो.
नहीं, बाय द वे, ममता दीदी ने ये नहीं कहा है कि हमें प्राइम मिनिस्टर नहीं बनना है. उन्होंने ये कहा है उनकी पार्टी ने कि बाद में डिसाइड होगा प्राइम मिनिस्टर कौन बनेगा. ऑल द वाइल व्हेन सम ऑफ देयर पार्टी वर्कर्स पुट अप पोस्टर्स ऑन द स्टेज. एक तरफ उनके पार्टी वर्कर्स पोस्टर्स लगा रहे, दूसरी तरफ कह रहे हैं कि हम अभी नहीं डिस्कस करेंगे कौन बन रहा है, बाद में डिसाइड होगा कि कौन बनेगा. डू यू थिंक, शहजाद पूनावाला, इट इज दीज क्रैक्स व्हिच आर इमर्जिंग इन द फॉर्म ऑफ फ्रस्ट्रेशन, द फ्रस्ट्रेशन व्हिच इज नाउ बीइंग डायरेक्टेड एट द वोटर्स?
देखिए, अभी किशोर जी ने कहा कि हमें नहीं बनना है, इसने कहा हमें नहीं बनना है. मान्यवर, बना कौन रहा है? जनता ने वैसे भी मूड बना लिया, आप में से किसी को नहीं बनाना है. पर देखिए पद्मजा, किशोर जी शोर मत मचाइए. किशोर जी कृपया करके शोर मत मचाइए भाई. ओहो, इनका तो शोर ही खत्म नहीं होता. पद्मजा जी मैं अपनी
Mr. Tiwari, I will come
त्वरित
back
बात
to you.
रख
30
दूं.
seconds,
Why
Sharad
is he
Poonawala
shouting?
respond,
Why
then
is
I'll come to you, Kishore ji. हाँ.
Anyway, देखिए पद्मजा जी, this was evident even when they bought the no confidence motion. At that time only Prime Minister said इनको तो अपने फ्लोर का कोई भरोसा नहीं है, इसलिए प्रधानमंत्री की पूरी बात सुने बगैर ही ये भागे क्यों है पार्लियामेंट से? ये इसीलिए भागे क्योंकि राहुल Padmaja, the very reason why they ran away from parliament during the NCM debate was because they knew that if the motion would have gone for voting, after listening to Rahul Gandhi's speech, they would not even get 144. They would get less than 100. And therefore, there is no confidence amongst each other. What has left said about TMC? That we will not be dividing India between Rakshas and those who vote for you or Apsara. First of all, you tell me that those who are dividing the nation like this, how can they have the country's goodwill at heart? Secondly, there must be clear-cut condemnation by the leadership of the alliance about the statement made by Congress party. Mr. Surjewala has come out and he has brazenly defended a statement. Why isn't Mr. Uddhav Thackeray condemning this statement? Why isn't Mamata Banerjee condemning this statement? So this shows that they are all standing with this statement in one way or the other.
Surjewala has already clarified. Why not?
But
He has said that
will the entire leadership condemn?
Where he has clarified? कहाँ clarify किया?
अरे Surjewala has already clarified that he doesn't mean that what you are thinking so. But we are not supporting the line of the Surjewala that voters are Rakshas. Voters are not more Rakshas. They are God for us. They are God for us. And we are one Congress leader version cannot be a version of India alliance. You try to understand Padamja. Padamja, the party we will have a maximum member of parliament.
Kishore ji, can I ask you a question?
Prime Minister will be
Let's actually be very clear. What is it that Mr. Surjewala said? Mr. Surjewala said in a long tweet hours after the controversy, he said that one who is not filled with compassion and doesn't love people, he is not a ruler but an asur, which again means demon. In fact, he also said that emotion and sentiment are more important than words. So he has not apologized or clarified or backtracked. He has again stuck to the asur comment. Anyway, what's your question, Shahzad Poonawala?
Kishore, you know the reason why Surjewala has chosen the Rakshas analogy or term for these voters is because these voters put India first. Because these voters say Bharat Mata ki jai. Because these voters say Sanatan Sanskriti में हमें गर्व होता है. And therefore Kamru ji जो गुलामी के मानसिकता से भरे पड़े हैं, he is defending it. He has called all these voters who say Bharat Mata ki jai, who have got labh from the Pradhan Mantri's social welfare scheme, those who say Sanatan Sanskriti में हमारा भरोसा है, हमें गर्व है, those who say proudly कि Hinduism is a way of life, he has abused all these voters. He has said ये voters की कोई जगह नहीं है भारत में, and they are like basket of deplorables. So therefore Kamru ji is also very happy with this statement. Kamru ji and his entire Jamaat is celebrating this statement. Therefore Kamru ji willy-nilly is still defending this statement.
Anirban Banerjee.
Otherwise Kamru ji, tell me that how can you defend such a statement?
Banerjee, isn't
if Shabnam Appa says Bharat Mata ki jai, you will consider
on
her to be
everyone
Rakshas?
who is a part of the alliance, who wants to be Prime Minister tomorrow, to come out and condemn without any ifs and buts what has been said. Otherwise, this is not just about what one leader has said. It will be seen as the stand of the entire alliance. That you are saying, look, vote for all of us, Team India, otherwise you are going to be cursed by us. And by the way, the ramifications of a curse are rather serious. It almost makes it seem that you are going to go after them. अगर आप किसी को श्राप देते हो, इसका मतलब है that ill is going to befall them. Is this actually a threat saying, oh, you vote for the BJP, wait for the consequences if we win? Anirban Banerjee.
Okay, so when a single member of the parliament from the BJP has terror charges on her, do you mean the entire BJP should be charged with terror charges, terror acts, COTA, NSA, etc., etc.? If that is your logic, then when somebody from the BJP says that Nathuram Godse Jindabad, so I should consider the entire BJP stands for Nathuram Godse, right? When there's a BJP member who stands for a rapist and mass murderers, should I say that the entire BJP actually stands for rapists and mass murderers? When there are people from the BJP union ministers who garland those people who are accused of lynching people, should I say that the entire BJP stands for those mob for those lynchers? Therefore, this logic is extremely lame. And as you said that...
So you're basically saying that it's inconsequential what Randeep Surjewala says.
He does not want to be Prime Minister. That is completely wrong.
That he might be a Prabhari of many states. He might be one of the key members of the team behind Bharat Jodo. He might be the person who's been given credit for the Karnataka results, but it's inconsequential what he says. Nobody cares.
No, that is for the Congress party to clarify. But what you are saying that it is incumbent on the entire India alliance, by that same logic, whatever anything
that any BJP member has done, the Congress party is not clarifying, right? The Congress party is standing by it. So does the TMC also stand by it? Does the Shiv Sena also stand by it? Does the JDU also stand by it?
That is for the Congress party to explain. That is for the Congress party to explain. Now, if you ask me, if I say that those people who stand for lynching, those people who stand for the release of the mass rapist and mass murderers of Bilkis Bano, they should not be called Rakshas, then sorry, I'll differ of that opinion. Any people who stand for the fascist and divisive policies of the BJP, I think
again,
we
are talking about the voters here.
Because
so you're saying anyone who votes for the BJP is actually voting for lynching and murder?
No, I am saying, no.
Is that your logic?
No. Anyone who votes for the BJP because of their hate politics, because of their support for hate politics, of course, they are somebody I don't align with. If somebody stands for the silence of the government for long 3 months.
So you basically tacitly are agreeing with what Randeep Surjewala said. Abnichesh Awasthi, if you vote for them despite their hate politics, then basically you are a demon. आप उनकी नफरत को वोट दे रहे हैं, तो आप नफरती हैं।
पद्मजा बड़ी साफ सी बात है। टीएमसी ने और बाकी पार्टी ने कहा ये कांग्रेस से पूछो, ये तो इनका अलायंस है। कांग्रेस पार्टी को स्टेटमेंट देती है, हम कहते हैं हम सब एक हैं, 26 पार्टी एक हैं, हमारी नीति एक, हमारा विचार एक, हम वैचारिक रूप से एक हैं। आज ये कह रहे हैं ये कांग्रेस पार्टी जवाब दे, हमें क्या लेना देना इस बात से? ये तो अलायंस है INDIA का, यही तो असली है कि सब अपने अपने आप को आगे बढ़ा करके 2 INDA में लगा करके अपने आप को आगे बढ़ाना और कैसे अपने ही अलायंस की दूसरी पार्टी को पीछे करना, ये इनका एकमात्र उद्देश्य है, जो पहले अभी आज सामने आ गया। सफाई देने तक को तैयार नहीं है, कांग्रेस सफाई देगी। बात ये पद्मजा बड़ी साफ सी है कि जब ऐसा आया है, ये पहली बार नहीं है, जैसा कि मैंने कहा, ये जिस तरीके का आज स्टेटमेंट आया है वो स्टेटमेंट सामान्य नहीं है। ये स्टेटमेंट भारत की जनता, भारत के लोकतंत्र, भारत की लोकतांत्रिक परंपराओं को अगर हम नहीं जीते, जिस पर वो सहज अधिकार मानते हैं कि हमारा तो सहज अधिकार है जी इस देश पर शासन करने का, राज करने का। यही बात जो नरेंद्र मोदी बार बार कहते हैं कि गरीब का लड़का कैसे बैठ गया, ये चाय वाला, ये वही बात है कि चाय वाला बैठेगा। चाय वाले को तो हम कहेंगे हमारे बाहर आकर के, यहाँ पर आकर के चाय बेचो। ये नीच बिच्छू, ये वो मानसिकता है। इसके कारण कहते हैं कि तुम लोग राक्षस हो जो ऐसे व्यक्ति को जिता रहे हो। ये है वास्तविकता। पूरे भारत की लोकतांत्रिक परंपरा में भारत की जनता को 140 करोड़ जनता को गाली देना
that this is arrogance, and which is why your alliance has been called Ghamandiya by the BJP today. This is the symptom of that arrogance. This is the manifestation of that arrogance.
Padmaja, the joke is on the country. It took 90 days for the country to witness the Prime Minister of India come to the Parliament on the floor of the House to issue a statement on the burning Manipur. And you say the egoistic and the narcissist Prime Minister, you want us to forget what he is doing to the country. And Shahzad Punawala, by the way, just now mentioned the divisions within the India alliance, but he forgets that the hastily cobbled 38-party NDA alliance, how many parties are left in that alliance? Shahzad bhai, can you dare to answer? 2 parties I heard already have left your NDA alliance. Is that true? But all of the India alliance are still intact. That is the biggest problem for the Narendra Modi and the RSS ecosystem. that they cannot fathom the one thing, that the entire country is getting united behind India alliance. अब क्या होगा नरेंद्र मोदी जी का 2024 में? और दूसरा बात ये है, देश ये जानना चाह रही है आज कि भाई ये सवाल
absolutely sure Sharad Pawar is united behind you? Are you absolutely sure? Because Nana Patole wasn't very sure that the entire country, I don't know, but Sharad Pawar is still a bit dodgy.
But the fact remains that 2024 the country is asking anyone but Modi. That is the sum total of the entire debate.
Okay. Okay, 2024, the entire India versus the demons, Shehzad Poonawalla. Final word.
You see, I'm not surprised with what TMC representative has said because they are on stage 2. This is to stage 1, which Mr. Surjewala said, delegitimizing the voters as Rakshas. Stage 2 is then doing post-poll violence with them, justifying revenge rape. So Anirban is actually on stage 2. How can man on stage 2 condemn what is being said in stage 1? Therefore, they have said they are in fact celebrating it. Mr. Kamru Chaudhary and Anirban are both celebrating this statement, because they consider any voter who puts Bharat Mata first as a Rakshas who has to be finished. So this is the mindset of these people. The IUML recently chanted death to Hindus in Kasargod. You remember, Padmaja? I think Times Now has done this story prominently. Did this India Alliance come out and condemn? No, once again there, because even there they have supported the genocidal call. MMK, one other party, has made the Manipur incident and linked it with Prabhu Ram, where they have shown Hindus as rapists. Did India Alliance condemn? No, because they want to show that all the people who vote for Bharat Mata, all the people who support Sanatan Sanskriti, they are to be delegitimized, and therefore Kamru ji is very happy with this. And Anirban, because of vote bank, is supporting this. As far as the alliance is concerned, ऐसा है मान्यवर, आप लोगों के पास अगर संख्या होती ना तो आरएलडी से पूछे, दिल्ली सर्विसेज बिल में वो आरएलडी वाले वोट करके गए क्या? अपनी पार्टी और अलायंस का कुछ अता पता है नहीं और देश किसे वोट करेगा वो बताने लगे हैं। पहले तो आप केवल इतना बताइए कि कर्नाटका में जो जनता ने वोट डाला वो राक्षस थी या वो बहुत अच्छी जनता थी? यू एक्सप्लेन दैट कमरू जी, कि अपने पास वोट आ जाए तब तो जनता ठीक है और अगर वोट किसी और को दे दे तो वो राक्षस बन जाती है। Entire country is understanding the communal angle to this, that because a certain section of people are saying India first, you can't tolerate it.
I'm going to leave it at that. At the end of the day, India is a secular democracy. It's a vibrant democracy. There have been many reasons given to doubt the electoral outcome. It has been about voter manipulation. It has gone to the EVM. And now it has come down to the very nature of the voter himself. The fact of the matter is that Indians will decide what's best for them. It doesn't matter what names they are called. Thanks very much, gentlemen, for joining me. The other big story that we are tracking is the massive war that is happening about the NCERT books rationalization process. First, it was about the committee, and then it became about the content. First, let's talk about the committee. Well, it is a 19-member panel which is going to talk about the new syllabus for NCERT books. Now, the inclusion of several names there has raised eyebrows. First, it was about Sudha Murthy. Then they asked, why is Shankar Mahadevan there? Now, it is about the membership or the inclusion of an RSS ideologue who also happens to be the head of the languages committee. First, there is the familiar charge of saffronization. The second issue now is that the Kerala government on its own has decided that whatever the NCERT syllabus is, we are going to ensure that certain chapters that have been dropped are going to be put in supplementary textbooks. Some of those chapters are about the Mughal rule, about Nathuram Godse, about the assassination of Mahatma Gandhi. They say that these are strategically left out by the BJP government at the center because they want to give their own version of history, and a real country with real education will prosper only when a holistic view of education is given. So is this really about trying to censor a part of history, or is this only the politics of history coming into play?
आप महात्मा गांधी को नहीं सिखाएंगे तो फादर ऑफ नेशन क्यों बोलेंगे उनको आप? 2002 एक जेनोसाइड था, फैक्ट है, उसको नहीं पढ़ाएंगे आप?
इतिहास के साथ जो तोड़मरोड़ की जा रही है, गांधी तक को इतिहास से धकेला जा रहा है, तो आप सोचिए कि इनकी नीयत क्या है और ये कहां जाकर रुकेंगे। इससे पहले इन्हें रोकना होगा।
Definitely, assassination of Mahatma Gandhi is the part of history. Whatever happened in Gujarat in 2002, that was the genocide. It is also part of history. You can't remove it. So, new generations, coming generations, should know the truth.
All right, joining us on the debate, Shahzad Poonawala continues with us. We are also joined by Professor Sangeet Ragi, political analyst. Qamar Zaman Chaudhary continues with us, and Vivek Srivastava, political analyst, joins us. I want to come to you first, Professor Sangeet Ragi, because people are genuinely worried. They're saying, why should Mughal history be scrubbed out? Remember, we had the entire controversy. They said कि भाई अब ताज महल ही नहीं होगा, अब लोगों को पता नहीं चलेगा कि ताज महल किसने बनाया था. Mughals will be forgotten. Nathuram Godse chapter has been removed. The Godhra riots have been removed. This is also a part of our history. Why were they removed by the NCERT?
Padmaja, if Godhra riots become part of the contemporary history, then why not chapters from the Mitrokhin diary should also be taught to the students of this country, that how the CPI was on the roll of the KGB. The Mitrokhin diary is already out. How Sen brothers killing and the mother of Sen brother, served rice soaked in the blood of the children. Why it should not be taught to the students? How there has been, political cannibalism taking place in Kerala and in West Bengal? Why it should not be taught that the Communist Party of India first aligned with the Russia and worked for Russia and subsequently for China and continues to do it even today? Number one. Number two, the point is that I was reading history written by Bipin Chandra. If you look at the history written by him from 1905 to 1918, means it was the period where he conveniently forgets Savarkar, the role of Hindu Mahasabha. Have you seen any historian, left-leaning and Islamist historians, which I always say, that the colonial the left historians and Islamist historians converge with the colonial historiography, because they do not see anything good in India's past. They never celebrate. When Bankim Chandra says that the medieval period was the chronicle of rape of Hindu women, destruction of Hindu temples, mass conversion of Hindu by force, why it should not be taught to the student of history? They have taught India's Aryan invasion theory for centuries. It was a missionary historiography which was taken forward, but it was Ambedkar who countered it. Now they have revised it and they say that it was not Aryan invasion theory. It was Aryan migration theory. And for decades, it was said that the history of India is nothing but the history of invaders. It is the same people, the Britishers said that the idea of India is just like equator. It is an imaginary line. This all has been taught to the students of Indian history. John Stuart Mill is understanding of India's history was taught to the bureaucrats here and elite class of India. Hegel understanding of India was diabolic, that Indian civilization is nothing but a curse on humanity. The Orientalists from German had a different viewpoint about India compared to the British Orientalists who were mainly the colonialists.
Okay.
This is a sorry state of affairs. And the kind of the history that the JNU historians, the Aligarh Muslim historians taught to this country were badly needed to be revised, and this is a welcome step that NCERT has removed.
Okay, it badly
We
needed to
still
be
remember
revised. And
Santosh
isn't it
Bhattacharya
strange,
book
Vivek
on Great Hammer on
Srivastava,
Calcutta?
that when the Mopla massacre was being introduced, then the Kerala government, more specifically the communists, had a problem with it. Now, they are intent that the Godhra riots should be taught. Fine, by all means. But why were you opposed then to the Mopla massacre?
Yeah. Right.
This isn't selective. Either teach
No,
everything
see, I'll first
or
of all,
teach everything together in a separate standard.
Yes. Yeah. First of all, see, the issue of Godhra and Mopla riots, that is a very minor issue. The major issue is something very different. The major issue is in 1925, the RSS was incorporated by Hedgewar, and they have no role in the freedom struggle of this country. They just did not contribute. In fact, one of their stalwarts said that if there is a real enemy of the nation, it is not the British, it is the Muslims. So once there was no contribution into this country and a political forum called Jansangh was made, now today BJP is trying to cook up its own heroes. So now they are not willing to realize that when you talk of history, you have to talk holistically. 800 years, it is not Islamic rule. Few rulers, the Mughal rulers may have been Muslims, but
Correct.
the Hindus were there, they were working, they were farmers, they were businessmen, they were traders. We were very much there.
Sir, hold on.
Yeah, let me,
let's not go off in all different directions. Since you speak of holistic learning, I'm asking you very specifically. You want to teach about Godhra, teach about Godhra.
Madam,
but why not talk about the Mopla massacre also? Teach Mopla massacre.
Listen to me now. Listen to me.
That you have a problem with. Why?
Yes. Why do you have no questions? Why don't you have any questions to ask from Mr. Sangeet Ragi, who was given uninterrupted 3 or 4 minutes? You never have any questions to ask from him? You agree with every word that Mr. Sangeet Ragi says?
Because,
are you
sir,
trying to tell me that you agree
facts.
that Gandhi should not be taught?
He was actually giving facts. He was not do whataboutery.
Oh, I see. So,
I cannot dispute facts.
Only RSS give facts.
He is giving actual facts about how
RSS,
history has been taught selectively.
RSS, I know. Only the problem is.
I am hoping for facts from you as well.
Facts with which Padmaja agrees.
I live in fond hope.
Other ideologies. Yes. So other
actually,
ideologies.
He's a professor.
Yeah. So other ideologies and the facts that we are giving, they are not facts for you. Agreed. So I'm a part of a party, a part of a.
Sir, he's a professor of history, so he has facts.
We also study. I'm a qualified guy from a premier institution. Okay, so nobody else has facts. We are all.
That is wonderful. So can you please tell me why are you opposed to the teaching of the Mopla massacre?
Yes. Yes. No, why are you opposed to the Gandhi's assassination being taught? Why are you opposed to the RSS role in it? Why are you opposed to Sardar Patel banning RSS, putting a ban onto it? Why are you opposed to not letting the people know that the RSS
I am not.
never
Actually, you should have heard me at the beginning.
Why are you opposed
where I
to
said,
saying
please
that
do
Muslims?
teach it.
Please. Let me complete. Why are we opposed to saying that the Mughals also are a part of the Indian history? They have also contributed architecturally, culturally, language-wise, and in other ways, as have the Hindu rulers of this nation. Why are we not willing to realize that immigration is a way of life? We have people immigrating from this country to Canada, America, and similarly the Aryans also immigrated. Similarly, the Muslim leaders also immigrated.
There is a problem here. Because the general feeling is that with each government and ideology, it's a question of jiski lathi, uski bhais. They did it in their time. Now you're doing it in your time. Instead of removing things, add more parts of history, make it more comprehensive. Isn't that a better approach?
Padmaja, I only request that Vivek won't interrupt because, it becomes difficult to speak and make sense then. So he should wait for his turn. Now, first of all, this entire padhai par politics is being done because the parda needs to be put on the activities of P. Vijayan's daughter, who has been caught with her hands in the cookie jar, and the income tax board has said how she has taken money for which she has not given any services, and it is a clear-cut case of corruption. So therefore this diversion tactic is being adopted. But having said that, let me answer some specific questions of Vivek Srivastava. Question number 1, Vivek Srivastava ji, nobody has removed the chapter on Gandhiji's assassination, but yes, a specific terminology was used which was discriminatory against an entire caste and community. Why should that be used? Secondly, look at the falsehood he peddles. He said the chapter on Mughals has been erased. No, it's there in theme 8 in the 12th standard textbook. But yes, if it is repetitive And the NCERT has taken a decision that owing to the pandemic, they are going to remove some overlapping chapters, some chapters which are redundant. Then why do you have a problem? Emergency part has also been removed. How is that an RSS agenda? Now let's come to the third aspect. Mopla genocide is a minor issue for Vivek Srivastava. Kyun bhai? If you want to teach 2002, Mopla genocide saw 10,000 Hindus being killed. Why not teach it? You eulogize the villain of Mopla genocide. And fourthly, about Mughals. Vivek ji, since you are such a gyani, if I ask you कि अकबर के दादा का नाम क्या है, you will tell me quickly, बाबर है. उसके बाप का नाम हुमायूं था, उसके दादा का नाम बाबर था. अब मैं आपसे एक सवाल पूछता हूं, प्रभु श्री राम के दादा का नाम क्या था? आप तो भारतीयता के बहुत ही निकट है ना. आपसे मैं पूछ रहा हूं, मुगलों का जो आक्रांता थे, उनके बाप दादा का नाम आपको मुंह जबानी याद है. प्रभु श्री राम के दादा का नाम बता दो.
नहीं कितने, क्या सारे आक्रांता थे?
And I hope you will say प्रभु श्री राम is more connected with Indian ethos than Mughal.
थे? नहीं पहले आप बताइए ना, क्या शाहजहां भी आक्रांता?
अच्छा, प्रभु श्री राम के दादा का नाम बता दो.
जहांगीर आक्रांता थे.
आप तो हिंदू है मान्यवर, मैं तो फिर भी मुसलमान.
शायद मतलब
आप गूगल कर लो.
नहीं, क्यों पढ़े?
आप गूगल कर लो.
देखिए
प्रभु श्री राम के दादा का नाम गूगल कर लो. भगवान श्री राम
गूगल नहीं करूंगा मैं.
दादा का नाम गूगल कर लो आप.
नहीं
यही. अच्छा, आप एक सेकंड, मेरा पूरा वाक्य नहीं
हुआ. इस बात को समझने की है कि आप
यही चीज आप
5000 साल पुराने इतिहास से बाहर नहीं आना चाहते हैं.
कहकर मैं अपनी बात समाप्त कर लूं. पद्मजा, एक वाक्य कहकर अपनी बात को समाप्त कर लूं. केवल एक वाक्य. यही जो गुलामी का प्रभाव,
नहीं आपने शाहजहां को भी आक्रांता कह दिया.
प्रभाव को उखाड़ना है, राजपथ को कर्तव्य पथ करना है, औरंगजेब रोड को एपीजे अब्दुल कलाम मार्ग करना है, और विवेक के मस्तिष्क पर गुलामी के चिन्हों को नस्तनाबूद करना है.
नहीं थे, शाहजहां भी भारतीय थे.
और प्रभु श्री राम के दादा का नाम बता दो.
बहादुर शाह जफर भी.
प्रभु श्री राम के दादा का नाम बताओ.
आजादी के लिए जिसको आप नहीं मानते.
चलो,
जिसको आप नहीं मानते, नहीं वो जानना जरूरी नहीं है.
Okay.
आप बता दीजिए.
Kamal Zaman Chaudhary, the fact that books have been revised time and again is nothing new. The BJP government is not the first one to be doing it. There has been periodic revision of the way history has been taught. Why the hullabaloo now?
No, there is a specific agenda at work, a toolkit particularly to change the history, how we have seen it, how we have studied it, and how we have learnt about our colonial past or our Mughal past or our ancient past. But you see the statement of Sangeet Ragi now, one of the most intellectual think tank of the Sangh Parivar at present in today's times. He says the historians were JNU historians, Aligarh historians, leftist historians. Not only stopping at that, he says these were all Islamist historians. So you discount our past by stereotyping them to a particular agenda-based history changing. Now you come and say that the previous peoples, like a group of 33 scholars who at various stages were a part of the NCERT textbook development committee, have asked that their names be deleted from the political science textbooks. They contributed to, because of the unilateral changes made by the NCERT under the instructions of the RSS. The decision of who decides what is unacceptable and what is desirable has been kept rather opaque, violating the core principles of transparency and contestation that we believe
as
underlies
opposed to the very
academic
transparent processes that were undertaken earlier. And sir, if you think that there are historians now who have a problem with what is being put in NCERT, I would encourage you greatly to also look up what Sitaram Goyal has been saying for years altogether. And as far as left-leaning historians, communist historians, that terminology is concerned, it's not just Professor Sangeet Ragi who's using it. I urge you greatly to read a gentleman by the name of Arun Shourie, who has dedicated an entire book on exactly this. Very illuminating, because all history, in fact all learning, cannot just happen in schools. We also owe it to ourselves to do some learning of our own. In that hope, thanks very much all gentlemen for joining me on India Upfront.